What's happening?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
What is
baby.
going on, chat? Good to see everybody
Ooh,
in here. We got the usuals. We got Steve, Scott, Sheepstar, David Boyce, Ron, Keith
man,
Firebird. Everybody, what's up?
sheep,
How you doing,
sheep,
Alex?
Sheepstar's been rolling.
Dude, shout out to Sheepstar because all of those tests and ranked things he's doing, that takes time. And
Yeah.
like I get stressed out thinking about how much time he's taking to do it. Props
hmm
to him.
Yeah.
Props
It's
to him.
my face is looking very red, and it looks like I've just been like crying or something, but that has not been the case. Not
Do you
sure
think
what's
it's
going
the
on.
orange background we have
I think
that might
so.
be
I think
contributing?
so. It's bit of a bit of an homage to our wonderful guests we'll be bringing on here in a little bit. But
Yes.
first, a couple housekeeping things, if you will. I do want to say we did pass, and again, I love data, but I'm not overly conscious in regards to our subscribers stuff like that. But
Just milestones.
we did pass 300, which was kind of cool. Which was kind of cool.
Congrats, Alex. We started this from nothing in what, October?
Yes, yeah, and
And we have
let
300
me
people.
301 to be exact. So
Let's go.
I appreciate each and every one of you, and not to toot our own horn or anything, but I mean statistically, our views are pretty darn similar. They either exceed or just under the subscriber
Subs.
numbers, which is kind of
That's
cool. So,
awesome. I like that. I
but
like I like when the engagement is
yeah, because
close enough to one another.
there's channels out there that are in the seven figures, but the results are only getting the six figures, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes you
Yeah.
question a
It's
little bit.
wild. But you know what? That's a
But
different world, right? Like
it
that's
is
that's
absolutely,
that's something I know nothing
hmm
about. I
but
don't think I ever aspire to.
yeah, like the whole. I would be so stressed out to have YouTube as like a career, like your main source of income, because like they could shut it off tomorrow, and
Yeah,
you'd be hooped.
I've thought about that a lot. Like, I mean, just like the TikTok thing, right? Everyone's freaking
Yeah,
out. Like, what do I do now? What do I do? But like, that's the name of the game when you're relying on another platform that you don't own.
drinking from my most reliable mug in the cabinet. Oh, look at that! You even have like the finger grip. It's like
I do, and
the sport mode cup.
it's got like a little like lip indent for your, it sits on the lip nicely. What are you drinking there today?
I am
What do you got?
drinking
What do
a
you got grinding?
we got a flavored set of the Keurig pods. I'm kind of on
Okay,
a microplastics
yeah, let's
ingestion
go.
kick.
Let's go.
But this one's like a amaretto almond or something like that.
Okay,
Which I find when they try to flavor the grounds themselves, it's really difficult to really nail it. Because like I had
is
one
it
that was like
is it cherry like? Because amaretto and
a
almond like
little
artificially
bit.
can be,
A
yeah.
little bit, and like I had one the other day that was like a blueberry, and I'm like, that's just no, it just does not work. Um,
One of Cole's favorite coffees is a blueberry, I think. Or
okay,
yeah, I think it Panera, like specifically, like
okay.
when we would stop on road trips to
hmm
get something to eat or whatever, like that was her go-to. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a coffee person, I think it was Panera that had the insane lemonade, like
yes.
the
Oh my God.
insanely caffeine,
The I think people
Bur-
died.
like I know Bergie bought two and like
Yeah,
double fisted, and he's like, if I don't reply, like here's my parents'
I was
number, call
concerned.
them, right? Because I think it was over 250 milligrams, 350, something like that in each.
A lot.
I'm assuming it was like a liter or something like that. Um, but
Oh,
but
you're too
yeah.
kind, Mike.
Ooh, thank you, Mike G. And speaking of, we were talking about Sheepstar earlier. He was asking the if I felt the earthquake. Now I did
Did you have an
not.
earthquake?
Vancouver did. They're
Nice.
about, as the
Not
crow
nice.
flies, they're about 1,000 kilometers west of where I am. So
Okay.
probably let's call it I don't know, 600-ish miles or so.
You're
And
single-handedly making me understand the metric system more. And the more I
yes,
understand it, I go, what the fuck is America doing?
yes, and like even just doing like renovations, like I have no problem reading a tape measure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll be the first to admit that Canadians are really hypocritical when it comes to the measurement system, because there's certain things where we use Fahrenheit for temperature,
Yes.
Celsius for most of it. Measuring distance, it really just depends. Sometimes we just use time. Sometimes we use kilometers.
Yep.
Sometimes we, you know, we don't use football fields because our football fields are actually bigger than yours. But we're hypocritical about it because we crush the whole uh, imperial system a
Been
little bit,
there.
especially the temperature. Oh, geez. And yeah, like we have this weather phenomenon called Chinooks that we've been dealing through because the last 3 weeks we've been in like an absolute deep freeze. Like it
Mhm.
is literally warmer in my freezer than it is outdoors. To give a bit of
I don't know
context to
how you
people,
live there, man. I really
and
don't.
so and I know I messaged you. I think it was in the course of a day. We went from I think it was -6 degrees Fahrenheit to it was approximately plus like 39 degrees Fahrenheit. So, I mean, that was let's call it a 45-degree change in literally that was like a 5-hour period
That's how you end up
in
with a
one day.
chest cold like I have.
Yes, and we have some friends that deal with some chronic migraines, and it's
Yeah.
the pressure changes do affect that.
Yeah.
And but we've had a ton of snow, which should help with the whole like drought situation because it's always like teetering right on the edge because our winters are usually very mild. Like we get really
Yeah.
cold, but we don't get a ton of snow. But when we do, it comes in big dumps in like a couple days, right? And so I'm hoping this is enough. Like there was real issues last year, but we're looking at. I think we're going to be okay. And if we have a wet spring, it'll be nice too. But oh, David Boyce, I love it. Canadian bacon is round. American bacon is longitudinal. That's
I don't
very true.
discriminate against bacon.
No,
No.
no,
Equal
it's
opportunity eater there.
and I saw a video that they were talking about the again with the two countries and the healthcare jokes and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
this one individual in the US was saying like, people in America are worrying about like free healthcare and things like that. And then they showed a cinnamon toast crunch bacon pack in the grocery store. And I'm like, well, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that picture.
I'd probably risk eating it. I don't know if anyone else would,
It's
but yeah,
probably just like a candied bacon
yeah,
flavor, I would imagine.
yes,
But like, man, talk about marketing.
yes, and
Who doesn't
like
like cinnamon toast crunch?
I know, I know, I'm a, but I'm not over like I like sweet stuff, but I'm not overly sweet. And
I go through these
but
phases of like, I love cereal, and I go through
oh
these phases where I will come home with like 3 or 4 boxes of like, you would think like I had children because of the
yes,
cereal that I bought. And then like the next week, it'll literally be like your honey bunches of oats and your special K, like your healthier cereal, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
it's funny when I look in the pantry and see Trix, Lucky Charms, Apple Jacks, and Corn Pops.
yeah. Do you ever mix them?
Sometimes when they're all low and I'm like, oh, that's not enough for a full bowl. Let's
Yeah,
just get crazy. But I usually go for like similar flavor profile. Like
sure.
I probably wouldn't put like Trix with Cookie Crisp.
Okay, yeah,
Mm-mm, no,
yeah, but yeah,
too
the
complex.
like the midnight cereal or late night cereal, it just hits different. Big fan
It's
of
like
that.
it's like my wife will always be like, "Oh, like what are we having for dessert?" I really don't care what's for dessert. I will have a
Mhm.
bowl of cereal. Like
Yeah,
that's my dessert. Like I'm
yes,
happy with it. I'm happy if that's dinner. Like if you're like, "Oh God, we don't have time to cook," I'll have a bowl of cereal. It might be
yeah,
bigger than usual, but I'll have a bowl of
yeah.
cereal.
Yeah, and I think my favorite cereal moment in it's weird to have a cereal moment, but Liam Neeson in Ted 2 when he's trying to buy tricks,
Yes.
and they're like, "You sure there will be no problems if I purchase this breakfast cereal?" He's like, "No, no, not at all."
So
Right?
so speaking of tricks,
Yeah,
do you remember when the tricks were like fruit shaped?
I can't say that I do.
Okay, so like they were individually shaped. Like the berries looked like little berries and the
Okay,
banana looked like banana, whatever.
yeah.
But now they're just like, the colored orbs. Do you
Oh,
think it's because tricks are for kids and we can't see it anymore?
oh, so you have to have a little bit of imagination in play.
That's what I mean. I don't
Could
see
be,
it. I
could
don't know,
be
whatever.
a
Whatever.
developmental process, and
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That's a conversation for a different night. That's
it's
for
the
the who left the 300 milligram THC comment. That's what you talk about.
yeah. But speaking of being on a high, I'm on a big high from Mike G. Were you celebrating the Canadian
Congratulations.
hockey win last night? Absolutely.
You were so
This
happy. You were on the edge
oh
of your
man.
seat. You were biting your
This
nails.
well, and like the scary thing is that luckily it was in Boston, which is the Eastern time zone. And
Boston.
Boston. And I had, I had to leave for my own hockey,
Yeah.
and the game was going to overtime, and it was getting really close to when I have to leave. And I'm like, I will postpone going if this
That
runs
seems
past the first
appropriate.
overtime, right? And which is funny because when I got to the rink, everybody showed up at the exact same time, so clearly everybody was
Everyone
waiting,
was,
kind
yeah.
of the same thing. But it was one of those things that this tournament, the Four Nation face off, I was really uncertain about it going into it. I really didn't know a big deal of it because like I've really fallen out of love with the All-Star game. I could really care less, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool for kids for sure, but I mean
Yeah.
it's like whatever. And then they announced this. I'm like, I don't really know what it's going to be like. Are they going to play international rules or NHL
Yeah.
rules or what? And then like you start watching it, I'm like, okay, they're actually like, they actually care and they're giving her. And then we lost the U.S. on Saturday when there was 3 fights in 9 seconds, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And
Wow, you didn't tell me
then
that part.
yeah, and so we dropped that 3-1 decision on Saturday. Last night was kind of a big, but it was just it brought the whole country together. It didn't even matter if you were into hockey or not, because
Yeah.
unless you've been under a rock, there's been a lot of animosity between the two of us. And
Not us.
it's no, not
Not the
us,
two
just
of us.
the countries. But
Yes.
but no, we're back on top, and our game is staying our game.
That's
So,
awesome. Well, I'm
but yeah.
happy for you. It's like, we're big into the Olympics, right? Like
Oh
mostly
yeah.
the Summer Olympics. So like we have our map that we hang up every 4 years so
Mhm.
that we're aware of where the country is, because like sometimes I'm like, I have no idea where that's at, or I've
Yep.
never heard of it. So we have a little map, and then yeah, we go. I mean, you want to talk about patriotism? Like we get a little
Oh yeah.
American happy here when we get some
Yeah.
gold. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, I think adjacent to the color gold is orange, which is I
yes,
think our guest's favorite color. I don't know if his
yes.
blood is red or if it's orange.
Oh, this man bleeds
I
orange.
think
You know it.
definitely.
You
Is he
know it.
Dutch? Is he Dutch? Maybe.
He might be.
Is it?
We're
Is it
gonna
that?
we're gonna talk to Carlos about some stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
he goes on a few of these podcasts, and everyone wants to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the detailing, and like I'm sure
Popular
we'll
guy.
touch on some detailing, but I want to know more about Carlos.
Yeah. No kidding.
I want to know about his early life, and I want to know about
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So we say we bring him in.
I think it's a good idea.
All right, let's get the guy here. What's up, my man?
Heyo.
Carlos.
What is up, you guys? Good evening.
Let's get Carlos big
Look
over
at
here.
look at that. Look at
Whoa.
that
Oh,
background.
too big? All right, we go here.
Oh,
Jesus.
There we go.
there we go.
There you go.
I love that background. Oh man, it looks like
thank you.
That's
Something very
beautiful, man.
quickly. It's cold out here, so this kind of keeps me warm or something.
It's gonna switch to SmackDown soon, though.
Oh yeah. It's 7.
SmackDown.
Carlos, how's your week, man? I've
Man, my
looking forward
week,
to this
it's
all
been
week.
it's been eventful. Well, I guess it started off good. Well, it's today's Friday right now. I haven't worked since Monday.
Damn.
Really?
So yeah, this
deserved.
weather, the weather just
Oh, that's
hasn't been
right.
in our favor out here.
Yeah.
And I already knew Monday was gonna be the last day I was gonna work, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's been like brutal out here.
Yeah. Look at Fred here. Carlos was a blast to hang out with at SEMA. Yes, he was. Yeah, my buddy lives in Texas, and he was like, yeah, they told us to just work from home this week, like because it's too cold.
Yeah, it's
So
bad.
what's the temperature range that you were dealing with?
So today I was able to work. We were a high of 35, I think. But it's been like around 18 degrees in the
Right.
morning. High yesterday was like high of like 25. So yeah, we just couldn't do anything.
That's we'll get to like 33, 34 in the morning here, like 6, 7 in the morning. And like if I have to take the trash out or bring the trash in or something like that, like I'm like, oh my God, like I want to turn the heat up to like 80 in the house because it's so cold, like to the bone. I'm not cut out for it. I've lived in this sun for way too long.
Yeah, when we I'm just doing the conversion thanks to our friends over at Google, and when it's 25 Fahrenheit, that's like long sleeve weather for us. That's
No.
that's almost flip flops and shorts, baby.
No. Lately here though, it's
Sheesh.
like this week it's been like mid 60s, and next week we get mid 70s and sun. So I'm happy. I'm ready.
Yeah, same.
I'm
Over
ready
here
to
it's about to
wash
be
the
like
car.
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the up and up coming
Carlos
up
is
here.
gonna be doing the bikini car washes soon.
Bro, I'm trying to take off some layers off.
Oh man.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
only
I do that all the time.
Carlos's only interiors. We're gonna have to make a logo for him.
I bundle up
Yeah.
sometimes, like when I go out there, like if I know I'm dealing with water or whatever, like I'm like, it's gonna be blowing on me, it's gonna get cold, but like 10 minutes in I'm sweating and I gotta shed the layers. Like I can't work bundled up. So props to you guys.
Yeah.
Carlos, I wanted to we've been chatting about getting you on the podcast for a while. You were on our previous podcast long time ago. But we've been talking about getting you on, and you said to me a few times, you're like, man, I just want to talk about stuff, like not necessarily detailing.
Yeah.
So
How about that? We're chill, baby. We're chill.
We're gonna kind of freestyle it tonight.
Yeah. I'm all about I love freestyling, man. I hate being on a agenda. Like, it's so tough, man.
No, it's just gonna be three dudes having a conversation, right? So, and look, you got your angry
Can I
orchard
drink beer?
there. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Yes, man.
Do it. Do
Yes.
what you want, baby.
Oh, anyway, Carlos, I want to know about your early life, right? We talk about your detailing. You worked at the car wash and all this stuff. Like we've heard that, but your early life, like where were you born? Where, like, what was your childhood like? Like if you don't want to talk about it, I have
No, yeah. I just got to keep it, make sure that I say the right words. I don't want to get deported.
I
I'm just kidding.
I thought about this when I brought up. I was like, Carlos is gonna have some kind of response like that when I ask this question.
But no, I was born in Guatemala. So fun fact, I'm from Guatemala. A lot of people think I'm from Mexico, but no, I was born in Guatemala, and I immigrated to the U.S. pretty much at a baby stage, across the river, like Moses. I think it was Moses that went through the river. I don't know.
One of them.
One of them,
I think he had something to do with water. I know that.
Yeah, and then I've been here all my life, so really, the U.S. is all I really know. I've been to my home country once, but it was very early. But I was born in Guatemala. I was raised under a very Christian household. I would say I didn't have a very fun childhood, because my father I would go to school, come home, and then I had to read the Bible every day for an hour, and so that was kind of my upbringing. Was I was structured in that way, right?
Yeah.
I could never go to a sleepover, because my parents were very against that. So I was always just kind of at home reading the Bible, praying, and that's kind of how my childhood kind of took its course throughout all these years, and then I was finally able to get my first job, and it was at a car wash.
Nice, right from the beginning.
Right. Yep, that was my first job.
Nice,
awesome.
Nice. Do you think that structure of your childhood impacted any of your adult life and how you still present yourself? And
definitely.
Work today.
Yeah. I think if I wouldn't been raised this way, it would be a whole different Carlos. Probably, I would probably be in drugs and alcohol. Probably have like 20 kids by now. I don't know. But I definitely can say that the upbringing, from childhood to now, it's all that, that was instilled in my life throughout all the years. It's kind of the man I am today. And if there's one thing about me is, I love to help, and I think that's one thing that, the scripture says a lot is we have to help our neighbors. And, that's kind of one thing that I love is I love to help. I love to give. I just, at the end of the day, the day that I pass away, what's going to be remembered of me,
Yep.
and that's one thing I would love to be remembered by is, how many lives I have impacted throughout all the years.
One of the first videos I ever watched of you, I didn't know anything about you, but I was like, I don't know if this man is currently religious or he was brought up religious, but like you could tell that it helped shape you
Definitely.
on camera. So it comes across. It's you're genuine. And when I got to meet you at SEMA, like what you see on camera is what Carlos is, like 100%.
That was a trillion honor.
I
Oh,
love
man.
that's kind of a common theme I find with a lot of our detailing industry is the kind of similarities to the on camera and off camera personalities. I'm sure there's some that are a bit different and a bit off, but I mean, I think for the most part, we're all pretty much the same. And I mean, we're all willing to put ourselves out there, and why put on a facade when you can just be yourself and, and enjoy the great people that we have in this industry.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Life's too short to pretend to be something you're not, right? Like,
big time.
Just be you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so how old were you first job with the car wash?
First job, I was in 8th grade, so I think I was like 14.
Dang.
Yeah, I think I was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have loved to work at the car wash in 8th grade. I think that would have been.
Yeah, I think
really cool.
all my family pretty much Hispanic culture. I think a lot of us start at a car wash, and all my family, they still to this day will all still work at a car wash. I think I was the only one that I just kind of said like, all right, I'm fed up, right? But yeah, I've been doing this since the age of like 14, and I'm 37 now, so yeah, it gives you an idea of how long I've been doing this.
Yeah, man, my gosh, what a time! Like that's a lot. What is that? 20? What did you say? You're 37?
24 years, I think. Yeah, I'm 37 now.
Wow, man. Yeah, look, Scott. What Scott Graves said. Authenticity counts here.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does.
Oh no, we got Mike G. Mike G's bringing up the wrestling.
What up, Mike G?
Carlos keeps kayfabe on and off cam like the Undertaker. Oh man.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
I wish I was more into wrestling to really understand the references.
Oh, you're gonna hear a lot of wrestling references between me and Carlos right now. Like we might even.
Yeah, I love wrestling.
I'll be out of the loop, but that's okay.
Who's winning Mania?
Man, honestly, I don't know.
Who's getting the heavyweight?
Probably Roman Reigns.
You think so? They're gonna
I
give
think
it to
so.
Cena. They're gonna give Cena one more championship to beat.
Let that dude finish off like that. He lost. That's it. Move on.
Oh man. Okay, so first of all, where's Oso? Where's Oso?
He's literally Oso's right here next to me right now.
Okay, I want to make sure he's here for the show. Like that was.
Oh, that boy. Yeah, that boy. He's right here next to me.
He's attached to you.
Oh yeah. You hear some squeaking? Yeah, he's playing. Yeah, they're talking about you. That's him playing with his toys right now.
Heck yeah.
I didn't know Mike. Look at Mike G. Mike G said Jey Uso and Cena.
Jey Uso. I think they might give it to him though. I think it's time for Jey Uso to get it. He's put in the time.
I think so.
If I came across Mike G in person, I would not, like, for the first time without knowing him, I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, you're a big wrestling fan. Just
I'm learning as we go. I didn't know he was.
I think Mike G would rub me off more like an anime guy.
Look, he's ready for the yeet movement.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he watches wrestling for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mike's got that pay-per-view money right there.
He got that premium.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right.
So Carlos, we went from the car wash at 14. Then what?
And then after the car wash, I worked for that same. This is the only car wash. I worked there for 17.
By, like a month ago, and
Yep. So I worked at that location for 17 years. So I mean, I started as a vacuumer. You know,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
was my first position. Was they sent me to the vacuum, and this was back in 2001, I believe. And back
Mhm.
then, I mean, the car washes were booming. You know,
Yeah.
I used to vacuum over 1,000 cars a day. You know, strictly just bent
Oh
over all
man.
day. You know, and I think that's how I'm very good at vacuuming because
Mhm.
doing that a lot.
It's
I
muscle
created like
memory.
my own little like yeah, definitely muscle memory. Um, and after 17 years, I think I had reached. I went from a vacuumer, then I went to a sales advisor selling. Obviously, as I was getting older, then they moved me up to a supervisor position.
Mhm.
And then once I reached, when I got to 11th grade, they gave me a assistant manager position as a part time.
Wow.
Um, and then once I graduated, the company gave me a gift, and that was I became a manager right out of graduation.
Dang.
Right. Obviously,
Yeah.
in that time frame, I was young. I was making good money. So to me,
Yeah.
I was living the dream.
You were
Oh
Right.
set.
yeah. You're rolling, baby.
But you know after once in that frame, you reach a point in your life where you're not growing anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've
And
done it
I had
all.
taken a trip. I've taken a vacation, and I literally got back like a day left, one day after, and all the owners were waiting for me that day. And then was the turning point of my career, pretty much, because they told me that as long as I worked under their management, I could never take another vacation, because I missed, I wasn't there on the day that
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
required. So that kind of was for me, was like, oh shoot, like they're for reals.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so I'll never forget. I called them at 2 a.m. the next that same morning, and I was like, hey, I quit, and that's what it was.
Wow.
Young, no money saved. I did everything you're not supposed to do. But I quit the job, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go on my own, right?
That's what your
And
gut
that's
was
kind
telling you
of
to do.
where that's where Serrano's Mobile started.
Do you
Mhm.
keep in touch with any of these people? Did you come across any of these people? Like, is there any beef?
Um, I don't think beef. I think I did see them once prior, a long time ago. They even called me and they said, "Hey, we'd love to have you back."
Oh.
But I think I was very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I told them, "Sadly, you can't afford me anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
That's exactly what I was
um,
gonna say.
and I told them, "You can't afford me at this point." And they're like, "Let's talk numbers." And I said, "No matter the number I show you, you can't afford me."
Dang.
You know.
Mhm.
Look
Um,
what you could have had.
Right, yeah. And I'll never forget, I gave him the number, and he just looked at me and said, "Hell no." He
Yep.
goes,
Mhm.
"Prove it." And I literally showed him all my records of payments and all
Yeah.
that. I go, "Yeah, you can't afford me."
It's a good
Yeah.
feeling when you can pull out those receipts and back it up.
Yeah,
And
Especially when
and
I
this
someone
is
was
thinks they
all
got you like that.
and this is all in a similar area, right? Like
yeah,
geographically, like same city and
yes,
everything kind of
yep,
thing? Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, which is that's a and enthusiast kind of nails it on the head here is that you're not supposed to quit without a plan, but you got to admit once you're, quick, it forces you to lock in yourself, which I
Yep.
think is very true. And,
You go into
sometimes
survival mode.
you just gotta do what you gotta do. And
yep.
Yep.
And that's one thing I said is, I'll never go back to another car wash.
mhm,
So that was my motivation, is I'll never step foot back into a car wash.
right.
Obviously now I'm been blessed that I've worked with other car washes, with managing kind of their system, how we can improve their guys.
Yeah.
I've gone to other car shops that have detailing integrated into their business, and they pay a certain fee, and I'm there for 3 days, 4 days, and I find what's going on, and I kind
Yeah.
of then we
Optimize
just
it.
start.
It's like bar rescue with Carlos, but for
Yeah, and
oh, that's awesome.
that's been fun. That's been really fun. I'll never forget. Also, like one time, I literally had an appointment right across that car wash that I
Oh,
used to work
that's
at,
awesome.
and the
Nice.
owners pulled up, and they saw me, and they literally came up to me. They're like, "Hey, you can't be doing work here." And I was like, "Well, I'm not employed by you. I'm employed by myself. They
Yeah.
employed me. I'm not in your private property, so I'm good."
Jeez.
I'm like, get mad all you want. And to make it more petty, I literally stayed there for like 6 hours just so that like I
Oh
could get more
yeah.
I
traction, more
would.
people would look. But yeah, I'll never forget. I was literally working across the same place I used to work at, and even the guys that were still there, they're like, "Hey, Carlos, what's up?" you know, and I
I'm
was like,
petty
hey,
like
pay
that. I'm
attention
petty
over
like
there,
that
you
too.
know?
I would do that same shit.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I would. I'd get
I
like
would
a
take my lunch.
loudspeaker.
I'd kick my feet up, looking straight in their direction. I would, yeah,
Yeah. But
exactly.
it's great times, you know. But yeah, I don't recommend anybody just quitting their job, and make sure you have at least some sort of reserves.
Yeah.
Do you think, let's say like once your body can't do this day in and day out, let's say
Hmm.
25 years from now, right?
Okay.
Do you think you would want to run a car wash in the way that you would want to run it?
Yes.
That you weren't like to
Hmm.
treat people the right way, the way you may
Yes.
not have been treated? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I would definitely go back to a car wash at an older age
Yeah.
because it'd be more of like it's more of a cakewalk to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I know the ins and outs of the business. I would love to go into another car wash, but we're gonna do it my way. You know, if you're gonna hire
Mhm.
me,
Yep.
we're gonna do it my way,
Yep.
right?
You're taking over.
I've told other people like I'd love to go back to another car wash,
Yeah.
just because of the atmosphere, the people you talk to, the
Yeah.
employees. You know, you build a relationship. I think even to this day, 17 years later, I still have some of those clients. We still talk here and there. Because they started my business when I quit. They called me. They're like, "Hey, bro, you're not here at the car wash. Like, where you at? So we can go."
Where'd
Yeah.
you go?
You know, and I'm like, "Oh no,
Yep.
I quit. I ain't coming back." Well, where do we
Yep.
take our cars? And I was like, "Well, I'm coming to you." You know, and
I never thought
they
about it like
really
this, but like a car wash is like, it's
a
almost like
car
working
wash
in
is
an
the place
office,
where
and then
if yep,
you
a
got
car
mobile
wash
detailing,
is
which is like working from home, right? Because your
yes
truck is where you're
for
living the whole day.
me. I think I've always been in the camera. I guess I've always loved advertising. I've always loved to even no matter where I went.
You're good
I
at it.
always wanted to put the company I was at working like on the spot. Right, come and
Yep.
see me here today. We got to sell. You know, so I've always been doing this for a long time.
Mhm.
But the car wash really helped me build a relationship with these clients that would bring their Porsches into these drive-throughs. They'd bring their McLarens, their Ferraris, right? And you know, and just
Yep.
start that relationship, right? At the beginning stages, I wasn't selling them crap, right?
Mhm.
I just wanted to get a feel for them. And usually about a year in, that's when I was like, hey man, I'm like, look, I think I'm gonna be starting my business here soon, you
Mhm.
know, and I'm gonna be integrating more of hand washing style. I come to you, you don't have to bring it here no more. Let's be
Yeah.
safe. And they'd be like,
Yeah.
bro, I am down, you know, like let me
Yep.
know, you know. And then when I quit my job, I didn't have no business cards, nothing. So I would write it on notebook papers and then cut
Mhm.
them out real quick and then just give it to a bunch of people.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, here's my number, dude, you know, or what's your number? And then I would have like a certain category on my phone, you know,
That's
and
awesome.
then that's kind of how I would kind of keep up with them. And when I quit, I sent like a massive text to a lot of these clients that I had, like, hey, you know, like I no longer work at the car wash, but
Mhm.
you know, I'm now offering a mobile service. I come
Yeah.
to you, you know,
Yeah.
the same thing you get at that car wash. You know, if you're paying $30 right now, you're gonna pay around $50. But I come to you, it's all hand wash. And you could all of them were like, hey, we're down. You know, I have 3 cars you can take care of. I have 8 cars. You know, a lot of the clients in the area that I was in were very wealthy, right?
Nice.
And that's kind of how I started too. Was with those clients, and then I kind of moved out of, and then I started kind of integrating more like car lot detailing and stuff to just kind of get a little bit more money going.
Do you think knowing that you had that clientele in your area kind of assisted, kind of gave you that little kick to quit without having anything lined up? You're like, I like these people
Not
got money.
really.
Like, no.
Not really. It was more of like I'm quit, you know.
Okay.
Because a lot of I can never count on those people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only count on myself, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if I tell them, hey man, I'm available next week, they're oh no, we're good, man. We just went to the car wash, right? So I can only depend on myself. So I
Mhm.
even to this day I don't depend on none of my clients. I depend on myself
Yeah.
to get the job done, right? But yeah, having them on like on my pocket was good, but it wasn't like that made the move to like let me quit,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because that's temporary. Probably next month they're like, hey, we're good, man. Like we haven't drove the cars or something, and now you don't
Mhm.
have any clients, you know, and you're
Sure.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
shoot,
Yeah.
what do I do now?
Yeah, and I think it's in your
Carlos is the guy you want to have on your team, man. Like he
yeah.
he is a hard worker. He is the one that, like, if Carlos was in my group project, like, I feel bad saying this, but Carlos might do all the work because, like, he's a hard
Well,
worker.
and what I was gonna say was, like, if there's there's no non-competes that you're signing or anything like that, like you're free reign. And I think if you do get to that point, let's call it 15 years from now, for example, if you do start a car wash, I think the people that you employ and the opportunities that you give them, you're gonna really educate them enough to kind of want to stay. But if they do decide to do their own thing, then so be it. But you still maintain that great relationship.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the industry have said this, is that there's plenty of cars to clean. There's
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if there's a bunch of detailers in a very small area, there's always enough to clean. And kind of the more up and coming kind of better educated detailers there are, and I think they're just educating the customers too, because we've touched on this before, is that cars are getting so expensive now. Whether you're paying cash for them or you're doing payment plans or whatever, it's a huge investment. And I mean, keeping them just top notch, I think, is ideal, especially in a climate where you can do that.
Yeah.
And just educating them too, like, hey, here's a little bottle of rinseless and a towel, like, keep it simple. Or your favorite Serrano sauce for the interior, for
Hey,
example,
let's go. You said rinses. I was like, oh.
get him some of that. I'm talking outside, and
That's a curse word to Carlos.
I know. But
Don't
but yeah,
ever tell Carlos
just
clean the interior with rinseless.
just even just like coworkers and family and stuff like that, they're just like, oh yeah, no, I bought this 1,000 pack of towels on Amazon that I can see through. And I'm like, well, let me educate you and play you the song of my people, and kind of give that a go.
That's great. Whoops. There we go. Dude, that's we've getting a bunch of questions for Carlos. We might have to just
there's lots of
love for
I
real.
might have to skip my questions and just go
Oh,
straight
damn.
to
Yeah. Let's let's bring them up.
Well, I just want to make sure we have time, because
We got plenty of time, bro. We got plenty. We can take it to 8.
I know we have our typical thing at the end of the show that we're going to do with Carlos, right? Tour?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
So
one.
I want to make sure that we have time for Q&A, because I'm very bad at setting time aside for that. So, Carlos, are you doing washes in this cold?
I will only wash when the temperature reaches about 35 and above.
Okay. I think that's smart.
Yeah. We were talking about bucket warmers the other day.
Those are lifesavers.
Yeah. I think if you don't have hot water on tap, I think the bucket warmer is kind of the next best thing.
Yeah. I usually dunk mine in my water tank. When the water starts going below freezing, I like to throw the bucket warmer into the tank, and then that obviously keeps the water warm, but it also keeps like my tubing in that area kind of warm, But I do have a torpedo heater that I run just to keep everything moving and staying thawed out.
Man, yeah, I can't do the cold. But the other day I filled up a bucket, and my hose spigot is it faces the sun, or it was at this time. So when I filled my bucket, it got like halfway filled, and it was warm water in there just from the sun beating on it. It was pretty nice. What's David Boyce saying here? Do you guys, including the chat room, ever use the green flag tip brush on the body panels of your car or a customer car? You ever take a brush to the car?
A brush?
You ever use the green bristle brush?
I'm not your typical IDA detailer, man. I don't go by the rules.
This guy asked me, he goes, "Can I come on the podcast? I'm not IDA."
Yeah,
I'm not your average. I think that's what gets me in trouble.
We don't discriminate around here.
No, man.
Good.
There's room for everybody at the table. I might use the green tip on like plastics, but I don't ever see a need to take it to the paint.
Like a wheel brush, the soft one,
like that.
I think
You'd hit the paint with that?
I'd hit the paint with that. It really depends on how the paint looks. It depends on if a lot of the clients, they really don't service and maintain their cars. And that's one of the things I tend to notice first is how does the paint look? That's going to determine how I'm going to take my washing stage steps.
Because if you're not going to make it look any worse,
Yeah,
No.
shoot, I'll grab a brush and brush the crap out of it. I mean, they don't
Yep.
care, right? I tend to
Yeah.
look at the paint, and if I see that,
Yeah.
yeah, these people don't take care of their car, screw
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
add
like
more swirls to it.
exactly. But if I mean, I'm not taking that brush to a coating
A
maintenance job.
Lambo or
You know what I
those
mean?
are all hand washes. You know,
Exactly.
I have seen some people use that brush, and they're like, it's safe. I mean, it's soft enough, but
Mhm.
I mean, you won't see me doing that for a whole car.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes one mistake, right? Picking one thing up in that brush or whatever, and I don't know, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd rather not
usually I
risk
tend
it.
to hand wash everything.
Yeah.
Usually just wash mitt, and
I'm
that's it.
I'm far too anxious to hit the body with it, but I'm all about the wheels with it. I love it for
The
that.
plastics, the truck bed,
Mhm.
or like the the bed liner, all that stuff. Like I'll do that with the brush, but yeah, I don't.
And like
Not
even
the
just
body.
our Joey and I are with our reliable Volkswagen and our honeycomb grills. That's
Mm.
just
Mm.
man, I
I hate the
ugh,
grill,
hate it.
the lower grill
Hate it, hate it, hate
specifically.
it.
Those are
Um,
tough, man.
We got the one who shall remain nameless of all the podcasts and creators. Wait, if all podcasts and creators were just their real selves on camera, I
Mhm.
agree with that.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing. Some people are on, like they turn it on and then
Mhm.
they haven't. They can turn it off, but it's the people who are just they always have their on persona and they're not being real with me. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't want.
I
I
think
don't want
that's
to
why
talk.
I
I
don't
don't.
think I wouldn't do good in like maybe like in like different like stuff because what I show, yeah, I'd probably get fired or I don't know. I feel like that's why I don't get invited to places
Yeah.
because yeah, I don't fit the that certain like
But I
criteria
get
of
like
professionalism.
if you were a salesman on the internet, Carlos, right? Like if I watched your videos and you were like, Carlos here, we're gonna blah blah blah, like if that was your persona, and I met you in person and you were like that when I was just trying to ask you, like, hey man, like what'd you have for dinner last night? Like I don't really vibe with you at that point.
Mhm.
Like I want you to be your real self with
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
No,
that's what bugs me.
Heck yeah. But
Bruce wants to
yeah,
know, is Yeet a new rinseless? Oh, we
speaking of
gotta
hey, it
teach
could be a
Bruce some time,
rinseless. It could be the Yeet rinseless. I'll probably buy that just because it says Yeet. And if it's orange, even better, man. Like
Oh
somebody needs to come
man,
out with an orange rinseless, and I'll buy it.
and
we
talk
got
talk
you.
about talk
We'll
about being
figure it
on.
out.
Bruce is one of those guys that he's I've had the pleasure to meet him in person, and
Mhm.
it's so funny in his videos. Like he's very similar, but I think my favorite part of Bruce is the blooper videos that he does.
Yeah.
Where he catches himself, and
Yep.
I've often thought of putting a bleeper reel together, but it'll just be a constant bleep sound the entire time. Because
Yeah, I do a lot of that. I'll set the camera up and there's just lots of. I'm like, man, I can't use the audio now, like because I dropped the F-bomb or something. I got to put music over it.
Yeah. And there's times that I'm in the driveway. I don't know what it is, but it's like as soon as they hit record, it just attracts all the people walking their dogs.
Yep.
that just
The
go
neighbors
around.
come
I'm
by,
Never
like, what
fails.
up,
Oh,
neighbor?
man.
And I'm like, man, I'm recording
Yeah.
something.
My car's next.
Oh, it's always every time. Carlos was putting in work with Ghost
Ooh.
today. Armor
I
Detail
don't-
Supply said that.
I don't know if this is Bradley or DJ. Who knows?
Hey, I
Usually
will say,
Brad.
I'm very. I don't like to try brands. I really don't. I really like what I have in my truck is really what's been with me for the past like 6 years. So it's very hard for me to give into new products. But when I do try a product and I'm like, oh shoot,
Mhm.
that's when I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about it because it definitely and Ghost was really one of those that I was like, oh damn, because I've tried other like tire coatings, I guess. I
Yep.
don't know if that's a tire coating or tire sealant.
Yeah.
But it didn't perform as well as Ghost did. And then I think we're gonna be on month 5, I think, on
You're
my
still
wife's
rocking it at
GR.
5 months.
And it's
Holy
like
crap.
barely starting to just like sheen is starting to go away. Like I'm starting to see like really the tire. So for that amount of time, I definitely have told a lot of my clients like, hey, if
Mhm.
you're bored one day and you want your tires to look good, look, here's a link. Get you some
Yeah.
Ghost.
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about dressing your tires for like 4 months. And they're like,
No,
what?
it's like
You know?
I have it on mine for, I think I'm a little over a month right now on my car.
Yeah.
And like, while it doesn't look brand new, the tires always look clean.
Yeah,
Like,
even at night, that's
the
kind of
thing.
where I've noticed it is like at night I'll put the flashlight and then I'm walking by it at different angles
Yep.
and like you see that gloss of the tire and I'm like,
Yep.
dude, like Ghost is definitely one of those products that I really enjoyed. I don't think I've tried a lot of their products, but Ghost for sure. I think one of the products a lot of people have asked for me to talk about, but I haven't gotten it is it pilot, something like that.
Pilot.
Pilot,
Interior.
Pilot, yeah, for an interior. Um, but so far, I mean, that's really one of those brands that I was like, damn, like their tire. I just put it on my tires. They're looking good, So anytime, like now, I'm reaching more for just Ghost. Like screw it, I might take an hour to do these tires, but
there
I
you
ain't got to
go.
worry about dressing them for the next 3 months. I'm good.
Exactly. Put the prep work in and
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
man, yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's
the
a-
prep
it's a
is
good
super
thing.
important. The prep super
Yeah, I
important.
think I overdid it on the GR, but I mean, I got the results that I wanted, and I'm happy with it.
You also, man, like every time I see you use Tire Plus, I go, man, I don't know how he gets it so shiny. Like
I spray it.
after I know I asked you,
I
was
just
like,
spray
man,
it once and just let that sucker
just
like
leave it
dry
go.
up, and that
Oh
thing looks like a
man,
mirror. But
it's
I don't do that all the
hilarious.
time. Just to the clients, I always ask my clients like, "How do you like your tires?" Right? And some people
Yeah.
like,
Some people don't even think about it. They're like, I've never even considered it.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
those are
Medium,
things that,
medium rare.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm one of those that I tend to, I ask clients like, how do you want your interiors to look? Do you want them
Yep.
to look natural? Do you want them to look glossy? Do you want them to look kind of in the middle? And the tires are another thing. Like, how do you want your tires to look? You want them to look glossy, or do you want them to look like
Yep.
natural or with a nice sheen? So I'm always asking them, and the ones that be like, man, I want these things to look glossy. All right. I'll spray the crap out that tire and it does the rest.
I've
yeah.
I've started taking after Carlos because I know Carlos doesn't dress dashboards, and I've dressed them in the past, but like almost every time I dress it, I look at it and I go, I want to scrub this off right now.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Not
It's
a fan
hard
of it
to
on
be
the
really
dashboard. So I've started taking after Carlos, and I'll just do everything else but the dashboard.
But the dashboard, yeah.
Because I put on my wife's car, she's like, I can't see. She's
Yep.
like, it's the reflection
Yeah.
is I can't see.
I'm an interior guy, so that has always been a concern for me. Is like I want to
Yeah.
make sure that my client's eyesight stays good. Before back then, yeah, we would dress the dashboards, and man, that sun would hit, and you'd be like, oh shoot,
Yeah, exactly.
right. But as I grew in my business, as I grew as a detailer, I was like, man, yeah, I don't know if this is good for my clients, and I started telling a lot of my clients like, hey, just so you know, I don't dress your dashboards. Oh man, but all my other detailers did it, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, unfortunately, I'm sure it's been really shiny, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, that's one of the reasons is I don't tend to dress it. Like, I will use a cleaner that has a UV protection on there, but it's not glossy, right? And they're like, oh, damn, that makes sense, right? So I've been able to convert a lot of these mindsets.
Just an education thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm all about education and just
out there.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad when like when I started using, because like Carlos said, he's not a big product guy. He doesn't like try out new products all the time. So when he hits me up about Jimbo stuff, I go, oh, like I feel bad. Like he bought it now because I used it, and I hope it's not bad. I hope he likes it. I don't want to waste his money on it. So I'm glad that turned out well for you too. I'm glad.
I've enjoyed. I didn't reorder the soap just because I still have a lot of soap left.
Yeah,
but
soap
I do go through interior cleaners a lot, right?
Yeah.
That one, from the moment that I opened it and I smelled it, I was like, bro, like this thing smells like refreshing. This is something that I can literally, like, before I return it to the customer, spray a couple spritz about
just
it in the carpet or something, just like it smell good, right? Yeah, like an air freshener. It was so good that I got on the subscribe and save, right? And I was like, I need this once a month. Like once a month, I need this thing. Even though I think like I dated my gallon, and I'm not even like halfway through that, and I've already cleaned like maybe 6 or 8 cars already.
Yeah, it does a good job.
Yeah, one 16-ounce bottle I'm able to get. I think I got 5 cars out of it.
Yep.
So the it's gonna be there for a long time. And I started playing
Yeah.
more with dilutions, and I was like, yeah, no more 50-50. Let me cut it down a little bit. I'm kind of testing
Yep.
the limits to see like how much I can get out of it,
Yep.
but still get a good cleaning out of it. But yeah, that thing, yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, I ran out of it in the middle of a detail, and I finished the rest of the detail with Pilot. So I think you would like Pilot. I
Okay.
don't know if you wouldn't use it for like disaster,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
for your maintenance, and
More
stuff,
like
I think
maintenance clients and stuff.
Yeah, for the mild stuff, it's
if it
fantastic.
gets on the glass, you can use it as a glass cleaner. Like you don't have to worry about.
Oh, nice. Okay,
anything.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice on glass, to be honest. So
it is.
it's
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of a
some
happy
people just use it as a
byproduct.
glass cleaner.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Let's see. We got our boy
Juicy Juice.
Juice Free in the
Oh,
house.
juice free in the
Serrano,
house.
do you think a lot of people who get into carpet detailing are broke and aspiring to make something of themselves, opposed to just an enthusiast?
I mean, I could say I was broke when I started doing interiors. Um, I don't know. That's a good question, man. I think enthusiasts are going into more corrections and coatings, really.
Yeah,
Very limited few will say like, bro, I want to do interiors, because sadly, nobody wants to do interiors anymore
Why do you think that is? Right? Because like I know
because they
that
don't want to
you
get
make.
dirty.
Well, they
I've
don't. Okay, they don't want to get dirty, but like I know people say, "Oh, the money's in coatings and stuff like that." But like
Yeah.
I thought that until I had spoken to you and heard what you were making on some interior jobs, and I was like,
yeah.
"That's almost a coating."
Mhm.
I think a lot of
there's
people don't think that they can charge that much for an interior.
I think that's
But
what it is they don't
yeah,
believe in themselves.
exactly.
But again, different areas, different financial
Yep.
things like that. But I honestly, I've been preaching about this, but I think here in the next 3 years, if you can really master an interior,
Mhm.
man, you're gonna be making some good money, because right
Yeah.
now I even have detailers sending interiors to me because they're like, bro, I don't want to do them. I just wanted coatings. And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, so why are you advertising interior detailing? Yeah, because that's what I started with. But right now I don't want to do them anymore. Right. So I'm texting the detailers. I'm like, if they want it, this is the price, but I'm texting you. So that's another $150 on top of my price.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, that's cool, because I'm not doing it. So, but I believe that in the next couple of years, interior detailing is going to be like a very hole in the wall type of thing, because not even in my area, not a lot of people want to do interiors.
I mean, if you think about it, right? Like you're not when you're driving your car, you're not touching the outside of it. You're not even looking at the outside of it. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
interior is the experience, right? Like if
Yep.
anything, that's what I would want
Mhm.
to look the best all the time and
Yeah.
clean and hygienic. I don't want to touch what is it, like 700 different types of germs on the steering
Germs or
wheel
whatever.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I get it. Some people are just. I think YouTube itself has brainwashed a lot of these
Yeah.
detailers coming into the market, and they want the latest, greatest, the best products, tools.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, no, start with what you have. Like,
Yep.
start building it. Like when
Yep.
I started, I didn't have crap.
You
But I
just need
get
a
it. We're in
towel
a
and a bucket.
different.
Like go to
Yeah,
town.
we're in a different era. Nobody wants to do interiors, but honestly, like, interiors are money makers. If
Yeah.
I can do it, it just falls down to how you present your package, how you transpire your message to that client, to make that client understand, like, damn, like, yeah, he's expensive, but this one by far has given us probably the best presentation without even meeting him or knowing who he is. Right. And that's how I'm able to make $600, $700, $1,500 on an interior.
Yep.
Right. It just falls down to presentation.
Whenever one of the first things I ask when I get a customer is like we'll go over the car, like, oh, you want this done, blah blah blah, and then I go, oh, do you want the interior done too? Like I immediately throw it out there, and they go, oh, you do interiors too, and I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like it's
and you're tall, bro. I don't know how you do it though, because you're
love
tall.
doing them.
Like Joey, me picturing Joey doing in the interior of a Mini is just blows my mind.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, the back seat's been neglected. I don't know the last time I wiped them down.
I would say though,
like
I do come across a lot of people that do prefer the interior to be done, like they want a lot of focus to be on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I also think there's a bit of a construed narrative on interiors of you're not doing a right job unless you shampoo the ever living snot out of
Yeah.
every fabric surface. And I'm like, the advancements in technology recently, and some that have been around for a long time, is that if you can remove the stains or clean the fabrics with the least amount of moisture possible, is it yields fantastic results, and you don't have to keep it open and dry. And like,
Yep.
I talk to people like, oh yeah, do you need my car like overnight because you got to let it
dry
dry? I'm like,
out and-
no. And I'm like, I could probably get you better results than using an extractor. Like, I have a little Bissell Pro, and yes,
Yeah.
there are times where I use it, but like I'd rather just do as dry as I can, like a
If I can
chemical
do
and
a
a
dry
towel.
extraction
Just-
and
Yep.
not have to pull the extractor out, I'm so happy.
Yep.
I'm so happy.
And I really had to give into that. I'm an old school
Yeah.
detailer. I was trained
Yeah.
with throwing car shampoo, upholstery shampoo into a bucket, use a wash
Yep.
mitt, wring
Yep.
it, then wipe the seat. I'm very old school, right? Even when
Yep,
I
yep,
started my business, I didn't have a steamer, so I used an iron that I had at home, and I would just get a hot towel, steam the towel over the seat, and that would be like my extraction, a heat extraction and stuff.
Yep.
But I had to give in recently, probably last year, more into PNS is the only brand I've tried, which is their threesome,
The 3-step, yeah.
enzyme and the carpet bomber.
Yep.
Following Details Official with Joel and Sal, I think they were one of the very few that really like hammer that product about
Yep.
a year or 2 years before. And I was like, you know what? Finally, I was like, let me buy this. Let me see
I
what the
held off
hype
for a
is,
while
right?
too.
And then after I tried it, I tried it on a very bad interior.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did a video I think on YouTube, and it was dry upholstery method, and then I used extractor method. Let's see the results we get, right? I was very impressed that day with those products, right?
Yeah.
On how just using a steamer, and following a little bit of the process, gets you those results, just like if I extracted.
Yep.
The only
Yep.
difference for me is that I'm used to extracting to really get a lot of the buildup from the foam and the seat.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
But
like
not
a
every
psychological
car.
thing too.
It's
You're
a
like, I need to suck
psychological
all
thing.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not every car needs that.
Exactly.
Even though I do advertise in upholstery cleaning,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be extracted. I could literally
Yep.
pull out PNS, system,
Yep.
and extract or do my dry upholstery with that product, and it's good to go.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
You
that's
might
the
have to
results you're
extract
going to
one
get.
spot for a spilled coffee or
Very,
something
very
like that, but
minimal. And
everything
now
else is
yeah, and I'm not getting those dirty cars anymore, right? My
Yep.
clientele has drastically changed, that now
Yep.
they're like, it's dirty. And I look at it and I'm like, what the heck is dirty here? But to them, it's
Yep.
dirty, and they're willing to pay that price
Yeah.
for a good detail,
Yep.
right? But I had to give in to like the dry upholstery method, and it does really well, right? There's
Yep.
mostly now, I'm like, man, I'm just going to use this PNS stuff. I don't want to hook up my extractor,
Yeah.
but there are certain times where I'll pull the whole extractor that I have, and it's a big one,
Yeah.
and get to work. But it does have its benefits for sure.
It makes me think of like all the times when I was younger living at home and I'd like, spill juice or something on the carpet, and it would become like this whole weekend thing of my dad going to the grocery store or Home Depot to rent the
The rug
carpet
doctor.
shampooer, the rug doctor, and me and my mom got to leave the house for the 8 hours while he does it and dries like think like there's that mindset too, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the only way to clean a rug. Like, no,
Yeah.
man, there's other ways to do it.
Yep.
Love it.
Let's see. David Boy says Levi Gates left Idaho. He moved to Colorado to run a car wash. Shout out to Levi. We love our friend Levi.
Man, I wish I had an auto wash here. I would
That
absolutely.
was
go
cool.
auto
When
wash.
I saw
pretty
that, I
cool.
was like, car wash, yeah.
Yeah, that's like next level. I think that's like I could see Carlos running one of those.
Absolutely. And when I asked him that question, that's where my head was like, could I see Carlos running an auto wash? It's orange and blue are their colors, right?
Yes.
So like
Yep.
right off the bat, you don't even have
It has to be
change
orange.
anything.
Like the building has to be orange.
You don't even have to change anything.
No.
I mean, that nope.
Juice wants to know: do you think your audience are mostly entrepreneurs or enthusiasts?
Ooh, that's a good
That's a good
I
question.
think my audience is a lot of starting detailers.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I believe I've catered to from the beginning
Yep.
is to upcoming new detailers, saving
Yep.
them money at the end of the day.
Uncle Carlos. We got to get the tips from Uncle Carlos.
Ooh, that could be a hat, Uncle Carlos.
Hippopotamus Stew says, Carlos, I tried Jimbo's complete cabin cleaner and it smells the best, just like you said.
Yeah, every time I spray that thing, man, I'm just like, oh, it
I
smells
don't even know how to
amazing.
describe the smell. Like it's
It's
not like
such a pleasure. It's like one
yeah.
of those things that like I can literally sit there just spray, 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 and just keep inhaling it because it smells
Yep.
so good.
It's probably what the
Um,
hotel looks like on your TV behind you.
right,
That's what I
definitely.
imagine
Heck
it to
yeah.
smell like.
Yeah, like paradise.
This is
Exactly.
proof that Carlos has never steered anyone wrong.
Exactly. Detail Grandma. Question for Carlos. What's up,
Oh
Detail
God,
Grandma?
no!
Do you
What'd she
really
say?
hate dealership
Uh-oh.
detailers?
I love car lot detailers.
Oh yeah.
Car lot.
I've said I do hate dealership detailers just because man, they rush everything. Car lot detailers are different. They're a different breed because they kind of pay attention more to like the small like
Did you say car
stuff.
lot like used car
Yeah, used car.
compared
Okay.
to new dealership?
I look at them differently. I
Okay.
call a car lot different and a car dealership is different in
Mhm.
my eyes,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
But I think a lot of the audience thinks like those things are the same thing. For
Yeah.
me, I see a car lot differently and a car dealership differently,
Mhm.
right? I feel like car lot detailers are able to perform a better job because they
Mhm.
don't have like a volume that they got to get done, right?
Yeah.
Car
Yeah.
dealerships, you know, tend to have a lot more cars and they have to push those cars to the lot like much quicker, right?
Yep.
And they miss a lot of things.
Because they got more
Mhm.
Um,
inventory coming.
yeah. So, you know, that's my answer and I'm sticking to it.
I
Heck
mean,
yeah.
you're honest, right? What more could we want? Mike G says, Carlos, what are your thoughts on fabric protectants?
Good
Are they
question.
worth it in your experience?
Fabric protected, I look at them just like as interior ceramic coatings. They're limited.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because there's so
Yeah.
much traffic going in
Yep.
and out of that material that it's going to deteriorate.
Mhm.
I don't sell interior ceramics to my clients just because I tell them it's a waste of money because of so much traffic, so much movement. Leather coatings, I think it's the same thing. So much movement in there is going to
Sure.
What about
deteriorate
something
the
like a spray, like Scotch Guard style? Like
Scotch Guard back then used to be fire. We used to upsell that. You know, the customers like, you know, can you put some protectant on? Yeah, I will. Is it
okay.
gonna last? Like I don't
Yeah,
think so.
you
I
don't
try to
promise
I'd
anything.
rather be honest to them than not be honest, right?
Yeah.
I think if I have anything for protectant on the interior now is DIY's
The
interior
interior
coating or
ceramic.
I think yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably the only bottle I have, and I hardly use
Okay.
it because I try to be very honest with the clients. Like, look, I'm gonna
Yeah.
spray this, and I ain't even gonna charge you just because it ain't gonna last. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I'd rather someone have good quality, rubber mats in crappy climates, or
yeah,
Yeah.
good quality carpet mats.
I'd rather have you a good carpet that I can just
Like,
blaze through it than
Yep.
have to do
and
multi-step vacuums.
even with the carpet, because I mean, I'm running WeatherTechs and Monster mats in my Volkswagen here, but it's another thing that people have to consider is that if you do run carpet mats year round, treat them as a consumable, because they are going to wear
They're
down.
gonna
Like,
last forever. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
especially in the driver's side, where you have the heel print on the gas pedal,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
if it's depending on where the dead pedal is and stuff like that, which Carlos, I'm sure you've seen a lot where people are like, oh, can you save it? I'm like, there's literally a hole in here. There's nothing I can do for you.
Oh man,
You
I
know?
hate getting them clean too, and then there's just a big ass hole in there. You know what I mean?
Carlos is just gonna whip out a Singer sewing machine and just like,
For real.
get
Start
it
putting
done,
patches.
baby.
It's just his face, just
Yeah, it's just
covering up
like
the hole.
a Carlos patch. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Oh, that's marketing right there. You'd be like, I fixed the hole in your carpet. It's just a picture of
got
your
it.
face smiling.
Carlos is just gonna make holes and then just
Hey
doesn't
man.
even have to worry about it.
Oh man, is it time? Is it time, Doer?
I think it's time.
I know we're a little over, but
That's
we
okay.
want to do our tier list with you, Carlos.
Yep. We got
All
a little
right.
game for you, so we're
Okay.
gonna pull this
Just
up.
a little fun to have. We're gonna ask you a few questions about
Oh, I see
detailing
Don
tools.
already. Let's go.
Bro, we got
So
some interior.
the categories are
Okay.
from some best to worst. So we have Serrano sauce as the top.
All
Yep,
right.
that's the
And then
best.
we have hot sauce. Then we got medium sauce, weak sauce, and fail sauce.
Yep.
Okay.
So the first one is this is encompassing rinse this all together. I know you're somewhat
Rinseless
of a
washing,
fan.
Carlos. Where are you
That's probably
throwing
at the
that?
bottom. Weak sauce.
I knew it. I knew
That's
it.
a weak
eh?
sauce.
All right.
Oh man.
Pressure washing accessories. Where are those sitting?
Oh,
with you?
that's Serrano sauce all day.
Okay.
Foam is life.
Pressure washer guy. Yep. So I guess tying with the foam, we're thinking wash pads, wash mitts, or
Yeah, that's a hot
how you
sauce.
feel
Yeah,
with those? Okay.
that'd be a
What do you
hot
prefer,
sauce.
Carlos? You prefer a mitt or a pad?
I prefer like
Do you put your
towels.
hand in it? Oh, you do towels. That's right.
I just throw like 20 towels in the bucket and just
Yeah, that
have
makes
at
sense.
Yeah. How are we feeling about little detail factory brushes? More so for the interior.
it.
that kind of
I'll be
thing?
honest, I have never tried those.
Okay.
So
Right
for
on.
now, fail sauce
Okay.
because I haven't tried
Put
them.
it there.
Yep. There we
I
go.
see what's coming. I see what's
And,
coming.
Oh man, that's
we
already
had-
Serrano sauce right there. That's at the top.
We had to bring in the
You
super
can-
clean.
Go ahead and add
Yeah.
that Don dish up to the top too.
Man, Don
I'm
is
smiling
funny.
right now.
I don't have any freaking ducks to clean. I have dishes.
Carlos, you ever use the Dawn Power Wash?
I have not, but that one is a bit on the aggressive side.
I mean I don't do the cars with it, but I like clean my dishes with it. But man, like if I have like a baking sheet or something that's got like that's just
Yeah,
got grease
no,
on
that
it,
thing
it
is
melts it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got a bit of alcohol in it. I think that's what
Dude,
does it.
it's strong stuff.
It's like 10% isopropyl alcohol, like a
Yeah.
90% dilution of the. So the next one, I know you're mobile, but what's your thought on the hex lights that have been taken over the internet?
I think that'd be like a hot sauce for just picture purposes, presentation.
but not for function. Like, do you think it helps you correct paint?
Heck no.
Okay, okay. Don't some of your clients have the hex lights?
I have a client that has the
I
whole
thought I
set.
saw one. I thought I saw one.
Yeah.
And I have some on here that are kind of left over from some past ones, but
Okay.
this one is a unique one. This is 50 Shades of Orange.
Where are you gonna put those?
Where are we sitting 50 Shades of Orange?
Man, that's gonna go under hot sauce.
Okay.
Carlos,
Get
do you
rid
have
of
a
this stuff
favorite
here.
shade of orange, or you don't discriminate?
I don't know if it's orange, man. I think orange really saved my life, to be honest. That's why I love the color orange.
So it can never do wrong in your eyes.
It could not. It's orange
Like
is gonna
that.
brighten my day up.
I like that.
Carlos is gonna patent another like Pantone orange here.
Carlos, you
coming
got
up.
an orange Christmas tree?
I wish, yeah. I love
They have
orange,
them.
but I don't think my family will allow me to
You put
to
it up
really
for
go all
Halloween, and
out.
then they can't say anything.
Yeah. No, I don't think they would allow me to put too much orange in this house.
You'll have to have an orange tree on top of the detailing rig. You know, just
Yeah.
put it on the roof.
Drive around.
Christmas vacation style.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Scott wants to know, what are your thoughts on striping carpet?
Ooh.
So I'm gonna be very honest. When I started my business, I was all about striping carpets. Like I mean, I would come up with different designs and all of that.
That's cool.
Because back then striping carpets was the thing.
Yep.
Years later, they transitioned into more of these like little things you put on and like you can
the stencils,
like a template.
the stencils. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be very honest. Now, many years later, I'd rather just give the customer a natural feel. Because when they buy their vehicles, they're not buying a car with stripes. They're not buying a car with zigzags and it depends on the vehicle too, right? I'm not putting stripes on a Lambo, on an Audi, even though on the Audis they look really nice. I'm not for them, and I'm not against them because I used to do it, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like no. But sometimes, depending on the car, and I also ask the clients like, "Hey, do you want stripes on your car?" They're like, "Heck no," And then I get those that they're like, "Yeah, I went to the car wash and they put these lines, and ever since then I've loved it." So, I tend to ask clients, and I can tell when you open the car,
Yeah.
kind of what the last detailer did or something, because you can
Yeah.
kind of tell.
It's deeply
Um,
personal. It's deeply personal for sure.
yeah, I remember I used to put the stencils, and I'll never forget. A client literally told me, "Get that shit off of the car, like off that carpet."
I there's one story that sticks with me. Obviously, as a longtime listener of the various TRC podcasts, is that I remember Levi had a story that there was a detailer that they would do his interior. I think it was at one of his shops and he's running it, but they cleaned the interior and this guy always got the stripes, whenever they did his carpets. And there was one time when a detailer came in for an interior clean and then they didn't do the stripes. And then he came back. He's like, "Hey, you guys didn't clean my interior because there's no stripes."
Because he
He's
didn't
like,
see the
"No, I
stripes.
and so like that
Yeah, the stripes
evidence.
is a visual,
Right.
and I think it. I mean, now I can see, like, if I'm trying to hide something, I'm gonna make stripes, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
steer
yeah.
you
Oh
away
yeah, oh
from
yeah,
focusing on the
From that big
areas
ass
that
hole in your mat.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know that stripe makes it like it's
Yeah.
equal, right? And that's kind of how I see it now, where like all these crazy designs people make on the carpets is more of like
Yeah.
you're hiding something, but
I
some
think what
use it as a propaganda, as advertisement, and
Yeah.
that's great. But I think now I haven't done stripes in so long, just because I just wanted the vehicle to have that natural, like you just got it off the showroom or something.
I think what
I
does it for me is just seeing like the vacuum lines,
yeah,
right? Like 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 when you're moving into a new house or you're somewhere and like the carpets have just been cleaned, right? You can see that the lines are
crispy.
on. Like that
Yeah,
does it for me. That lets me know that
yes,
it's clean. I don't need
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't need a design.
Yeah. I think the design on the carpet with the stencils and such are the same people that will clean an entire door panel with a small little brush, just going in a circle.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's fine for the gram, and for social media and
For
for
whatnot,
the
but
pictures and
gram.
stuff. Yeah.
for realisticness, it's not like, and I mean, for me, I really have no carpet exposed on any of the vehicles I work on because there's rubber
Yeah.
mats and then a rubber mat in the trunk or the hatch.
Yep.
So
Sometimes
I don't
layers
really
of rubber
see,
mats, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
but and I
Carlos,
mean,
you ever get pissed when when you go to take the mats out and they're stacked? There's like
they
four of
literally
them on
have.
oh,
there.
I
You gotta
think
clean them all.
I'll never forget. I had a client, Middle Eastern, had like 20 mats.
oh my
Oh
god.
man,
He goes, "Oh, do you include mats shampoo?" And I was like, "Yes, sir."
he brought all the mats from all the
Bro,
cars in
that
the
thing had
neighborhood.
20 mats, and all for the carpet to still look like trash.
Dang.
Stained everything. I'm like, bro.
Oh
One of
man.
my one of my very close friends, I was detailing her GTI, and she has one of those like those dog cover things you put in the back seat.
Yeah, little like
But
hammock.
she puts it there. Yeah, she puts it there because this was like the OEM one, so it actually conforms to the seat and everything.
Yeah.
But she has that, like, it's not the full on hammock one, but she has it to protect it for like a child seat. And I was detailing her interior, and like I don't know what happened, but like a glitter bomb exploded on that thing.
Oh
And
no.
I like because I wanted to take it out, right?
Yep.
And I you had to take like one of the headrests out. This is before I knew the trick of like you push halfway down the seat to get the one headrest out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I could not get it. I'm like, I have to work on it in place. And like I'm being so
Damn.
careful, like to get all like the glitter. And I'm like, I hate glitter so freaking much. Oh my lord.
Ugh.
Glitter scares me now, to be honest, because
It
it's
does.
like now that I'm married,
You
Yeah.
come home with
come
glitter on
home
you,
with
Carlos.
glitter. Where
Yeah.
you been at?
You got to
Yeah.
FaceTime her right away. You got to be like, baby, this
Hey,
car
just so you know,
full of
yeah,
glitter.
babe, but this thing had glitter, so just letting you know.
That's
But
hilarious.
Eric Wright, fellow Canadian here.
Oh, sorry.
I'll bring this up
I'm
first.
clicking all over the
Um,
place.
Eric's in Nova Scotia, one of the maritime provinces. It's been so cold in the Maritimes, I've not detailed the car for a good month. Yesterday, I deep cleaned, microwave, and ceramic coated the exterior today.
Heck
That's
yeah.
not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I
Chef
find
Mike
myself
needs
cleaning shit in the house like when it's
Chef
not.
Chef Mike needs a little TLC every once in a while.
Yeah,
But,
Chef might be
and
putting in
then
that work.
Freddie Shaker Sandwich. Carlos, do you use air fresheners at all? That's a great
No.
question.
I do not use air fresheners for the reason that I don't know if the customers have allergies to a certain smell, scent.
Yeah.
So the only thing, obviously, the conditioner I use smells like leather. And that's it. So I
Or
use
Fritz
the
Jimbo's.
products. Yeah, so the products that I use already come with some sort of fragrance. And that's the reason I don't do fragrances, just
Yeah.
because I don't want to create a reaction to the scent. So yeah, no, I stopped using air fresheners a long time ago.
Hey,
My,
sometimes if your car smells too good, you don't smell yourself, and sometimes you might stink. So just leave the car neutral. You know what I mean?
That's funny you say that. My dad was over cleaning his car once, and he took the bottle of the Starnagloss Decada, which
Oh.
is like, it smells like a gentleman's club, if you will.
I dropped the
And
bottle last week. Anyway, go ahead.
my dad sprayed about 20 sprays in his outboard.
Oh, it's so
And
strong.
then my mom got in the car and she's like, "What is this? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening in here?" And I'm
Carlos,
like, I told my dad, I'm like, "Hey, like 4 sprays tops. Like, that's a lot."
Yep, Carlos,
And
this
he's
air
just in there
freshener
and
smells
he's just
like
he's
it
and I'm
smells like a
"Whoa."
$300 cologne. It's got gold flake in it, and it's
Damn.
very, like, you know, if you walk by someone who's got too much cologne,
Yeah.
that's what it can smell like in the car. And I was cleaning the garage the other day, and I dropped my bottle, and it broke, right? And so like a bunch leaked out. My garage has been smelling like it for like a week and a
Who
half.
makes it?
Starnagloss.
Starnagloss, from the rag over at the rag company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's been times when I forgot to put cologne on, and I've run back to the car and I've spritzed it on myself because it smells that good.
Hey, it gets the job done.
But
Carlos, do you have nice business cards?
No, I don't think I have nice business cards. I mean, they're presentable. They get the job done.
It's got the information.
Yeah, I'm not into all this fancy. I'm very plain. Like, when it comes to my business, I'm very plain. I don't have a website.
I like that you go door to door with the hangers. I watched that video that you did. I like stuff like that. That's the stuff.
Yeah,
I like
I'm old school. You know, I don't mind knocking on doors and know letting people know what I do, or just getting an opportunity. So
yeah,
I'd answer my
your
door
neighbors
for
are pretty
Carlos.
cool, I assume.
Yeah, thankfully they are.
Cool.
I haven't really serviced them much, but yeah, they're cool.
Okay, cool. That's keeping the neighbors happy is what I've found. Like, like if I'm off, I'll do your car. Don't worry. That way they don't complain about the pressure washer noise or the blower.
Nah, they're pretty cool in the area I live in. They don't care about noise complaint.
Awesome. You know what else is cool? I have a little surprise for everyone. I haven't even told Joey about this, and for all the audience, you get to see it here first. But the Detailgram podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is on Spotify.
Ooh,
nice!
That is a surprise.
Episodes are here.
It sounds like I got to get the Apple podcast going. But
we're working on Apple. But if you are a Spotify enthusiast, we are here. So Carlos is going to be going up shortly after. So I thought I'd throw that in as a little treat.
Very nice.
Little treat for everyone. For those, I don't know about you. There's times where I get out of a music spell and I'm just like, I got to go down the podcast rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm driving, sometimes it's just better. But yeah, thought we'd throw in that little tidbit.
I think that's awesome. I appreciate you doing that, Doer.
Yeah, you betcha.
But it looks like we've come to the end of our questions and stuff. If anyone's got any last minute stuff for Carlos, get those in.
Carlos,
I had a blast talking to Carlos.
Carlos, what's on the hat? I need to know what's on your hat.
So this is a very limited edition hat that I did. So this is a pretty much Serrano's mobile or Serrano sauce. This is pretty much what it is.
Wheels.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I love the little wind lines as well.
Yeah.
My
He's
favorite
moving.
pepper to put in guacamole and
man, Serrano sauce or Serrano peppers, man, itself. God, they're spicy.
I love me some Serrano peppers, man.
I cannot.
Someone was asking me earlier. I was talking to our friend Ryan from Fine Detailing earlier, and I was telling him how I consider myself a Taco Bell connoisseur, and he was asking me my favorite sauces, and I told him that I like the mild and I like it depends on the what I'm eating, but I like the mild and the hot. I don't like the flavor of the fire or the Diablo. It's a flavor. It's not the heat.
It's the flavor. That flavor on it is
hot stuff,
different.
But it doesn't do it for me. So I just
stick too sweet,
mild and hot. Yeah.
There was a new season of a reality dating show on Netflix just dropped a little while ago, and one of the participants actually had a Taco Bell tattoo on their inner lip, And I'm like, that is dedication.
That's dedication. I hope
but,
that person got like a lifetime of Taco Bell
man,
or something.
But apparently they say that if you get a tattoo on the inner lip, because of just how the skin works, it
wet
fades a
all the
lot
time.
faster. And so
Yeah.
now it just says Taco B, they said.
Oh shit.
So, and I'm like,
shit.
oh, I mean, I'm not going to go back and fix it, but I mean, they do them. So that'd be pretty fun. But
Tabasco. Yeah, Tabasco's live. I saw
good. Yep. You know what? I never liked green salsas that much when I was I don't know, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, but like green salsa is my thing now. Like I'll take green over red any day.
Depends on the Mexican place you get it from too.
Well, yeah, I hate the place. This pissed me off when let's say I go DoorDash or whatever, and I'm gonna order from a new taqueria or something I haven't tried before.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't give me salsa with the food,
mad?
like I'm
negative review. Give me my
not even
an
option in there for like, you know what I mean? Like, or like they're like, oh, you want chips for $2 extra? I'm like, yeah, but then they don't give you salsa, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with these chips now? So.
What?
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing for me. I will go off on a restaurant for not giving salsa.
And I feel like the taco community is pretty cutthroat there where you are. I feel like there's just every street corner there's something new.
Yeah. California is we're big into tacos.
Yeah, like my wife's like pet peeve is like if you order tamales and they don't put no salsa in them, like she's done.
It could be dry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like one her thing. Right? Like me, I'm very like, okay, I'll use like whatever we have. But my wife is like, how the heck do you sell tamales and you don't put freaking salsa? You know, so
sauce
that's why like now when I order tamales, I'm like, does it come with salsa? You know, they're like, oh yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, double it.
I ordered one the other
triple
night.
It, please.
I got a burrito the other night, and they gave me one of each of their salsas, and
Golly.
I was able to sample it, and it was a good night. So I'll order that again. Carlos, WWE or AEW? What's your first choice?
First choice would be WWE for sure, but I think AEW, man, it's starting to come up, man. AEW is making some moves, man.
I think they're going to be in Sacramento in the next couple weeks. AEW. I've never been to an AEW event. Have you been to a WWE event?
I'd rather watch events at home, to be honest.
I've probably been to 5 or 6, but one of them when I was 15, we were ringside, and this is when you had to go. This is when you had to go to the box office at the arena, and you didn't get to pick your seats. They were just like boom, random, right? And
we'll sit you where you want.
My friend's mom went, and she got row A seats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I was like, that's ringside. Like what? So if you go back and watch that episode, you could see 15-year-old.
I guess eventually I want to go into like a WWE show, but I just get hyped at home, man. Like I can scream, even though there you can scream too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I love to eat, and one of my things is like when I go to these shows, like bro, I'm gonna buy food, and I'm just gonna be eating.
Yeah,
you know. So I'd rather just eat at home and scream my lungs out, you know, and just enjoy it.
Carlos, we might have to plan WrestleMania next year because I know it's a little too soon right now, but we might have to plan WrestleMania next year. I might need to go.
That'd be cool.
Fred in the chat has something planned. Fred wants to do a bit of a giveaway.
Oh, before you guys sign off, you want to give away a Glove Box RX kit?
Now, I know we're not that giveaway podcast. That's not really our jam, but
no.
But hey, what do you say we do that? I do have a question that I'll bring up here.
Let's do it.
All right.
Carlos, have you ever used the Glove Box RX kit?
I don't think an RX kit. I got a glove box, but I don't know if it was an RX kit. I mean, I don't know.
They're like little capsules that
yeah.
The water.
Yeah. That's the RX kit. Oh, okay.
We do have we have you people have a very good chance of winning. We have currently 19 watching in the live show here, so I appreciate every single one of you. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually going to bring over the chat.
Aha.
so that you will see exactly who wins when. And so we're not, we don't hide anything. We're not gonna.
Look, Carlos is a nice guy. He said he's going to send Carlos one.
Oh, geez, heck yeah! Look at that.
Oh, thank you.
So we're gonna bring up the question here. There we go.
Juice, where are we going to give gift card from? We don't
What
run any
countries?
businesses here.
No. Man, we do this for free. We don't.
What country is Carlos from?
What country is Carlos from?
First person to get it.
First
Let's
one
see.
to see.
This guy said gift card. Choose
Gift
free. I'm gonna
card.
get you a gift card to Sizzler. What country?
I'm gonna get Juice Free a gift card to FedEx.
There it is.
Chips and goodies. Look at that.
One who shall
one-
remain nameless.
The
Beautiful.
one that's great. I thought y'all were joking when you said the one that should
No, that's
remain
him.
nameless.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
So the one who shall name her name. I can't even talk
hard
today.
to
My
say.
goodness. So yeah, as long as everyone's fair, this is obviously in the chat. We have the chat replay on. This is going to show the first winner is there. So you can email us or Fred, just drop in the chat if they want them to email you directly, or we can email us at the Detail Grind Podcast at gmail.com. Because we like to be official around here. We like to have the our own little thing. We're not.
Yeah, I won't send you guys any personal emails from my personal account. I make sure it comes from Detail Grind.
Yeah. So yeah, you can
gotta take
send
me
us
out
an
to dinner
email, and then
before.
we can get that info over to Freddie. So, but yeah, I think on that note, I appreciate every single one of them that have popped in the chat tonight. Again, thanks to all those that
Absolutely.
have subscribed. We just cracked 300, which is pretty crazy for a couple guys on a Friday night. And
Feel
we
free to
appreciate
share the video once it's
Yes.
over with all your friends, your family. Let's get Carlos that exposure that he deserves, because Carlos is a G.
And I think Carlos needs to set up like an orange themed Amazon wish list, and people can just buy stuff for Carlos.
Buy
that's
him orange stuff.
Just put like the most ridiculous orange stuff in this wish list and see what shows up.
That's a good idea, Carlos.
I think
We'll talk
that'd
about
be
that
right.
offline.
Yeah, we'll talk about that offline. So
Carlos,
Then
where
I'll
can
wear it on the
people find
videos
you?
and stuff.
Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
They can find me on Facebook under probably my Carlos Serrano. On YouTube, of course, Serrano's Mobile. Let's see. Instagram is Serrano's _mobile_ detail LLC. I don't use TikTok much, but yeah, I mean, you can find me anywhere, to be honest.
Or ask us. We'll send you
Yep.
Carlos's profile. We'll get you in touch
Carlos
with
is
Carlos.
Carlos is going live all the time too. So
Yes.
if you have
you
free
doing one
time,
tonight after this, Carlos? Or you?
Nah, this was
Okay.
the only one today. Yeah.
Okay.
Also over here looking at me like, yeah,
He's
you
like,
got,
take me out.
it's time.
That's funny.
Well, I appreciate you, Carlos. Thank you for coming on the show.
I
I'm sure
appreciate
this
you
won't be the
guys.
last time, man. It was nice to
Thank
chat
you,
with
guys.
dude.
You betcha. Take care,
We will
Carlos.
see. We'll
Take
see
care.
you guys next time.